Welcome along to the half-time coverage of tonight's WSPFL match. It is Hibernian 0, Celtic 1 at half-time. A goal for Celtic coming just before the half-time whistle. A short taken corner kick headed in at the back post by Caitlin Hayes. Russell, a good end to what was a very end-to-end first half.
Oh, mine's not even kicked off on my Facebook yet, mate. It was a stressful opening 10 minutes when we weren't quite sure what was happening. I have to be honest, I was even more stressed when I watched the next sort of 15 minutes unfold. I felt like Hibs were looking the more dangerous side, if I'm perfectly honest with you. I think from maybe 25 minutes, half an hour onwards, I just felt like Celtic, once they got in the ball, and the retention got a lot better. They were more patient in their build-up. And I've got to say, the goal scorer, Hayes, I think, the way she brings the ball out from the back is to be admired. I think she's always looking to play a forward pass. She's not always trying to go just, centre-halves have a terrible habit of just looking at their other centre-half partner and just trying to do a square ball, whereas she always is trying to bring out, turn her marker the forward, take it out a wee bit, and she's played some clever passes forward as well. She's been proper impressive and just rounded it all off with a goal.
Just going to bring this comment up from Contuck8 here. It says the ladies could be doing with showing the men a few tricks when it comes to set pieces. Lawrence, we spoke before the game. 2 goals in the derby the other day coming from corners, and once again, Celtic corner goal.
Well, worked. Definitely from the training ground, isn't it? And he's got a point. We must be able to share routines and ideas from set pieces, because we don't certainly aren't getting the return of the men's team. But I'd echo what Russell said. Frustrating 10 minutes when we can't see anything. Maybe at a half-hour mark, about 25 minutes. That Hibs girl had a decent chance, didn't she? But she just tried for too much power. She was alone in the box. Ball came in. She probably had buried it, made it 1-0. But half an hour onwards, we started playing the triangles. The ball retention was better. We knew that Hibs were playing a higher line. We were just kind of biding our time. And with set pieces like this, maybe that's just play for them.
It almost felt once like they were tiring Hibs out at the start. I think it was a bit, they got away with one, I think, as well from that set piece, as you're talking about, when the Hibs player skied it over the bar. I thought she shouldn't have been unmarked at any stage like that. But I think on top of that almost you can't help but feel like Celtic just wear teams down, and they seem to have a real, I don't know, like levels of fitness that certainly benefited from going. You're a full-time team now, and I think you can see the benefits of that when they play other opposition in the league. I actually happen to think they've looked a lot fitter than the Rangers side when they've played them as well, as has been proven with the sort of last 10 minutes. Even the same against Glasgow City, they went on in the last 10 minutes in that match and were actually finished far stronger. And I certainly thought, you could tell Hibs had they were chasing shadows, I felt, towards the final sort of 10 minutes of that half in particular. And by the time we got the goal, I thought that we would be knocking on the door by then. Mariah Lee had started to look dangerous, started making us tick. And I think, I just think that goal was inevitable. And I'm glad we've got it before half time. Just settles any nerves that are there, because it's only human nature. I don't know if it's allowed or not, but you're going to check the other scores going on, do you know what I mean, to see how your rivals are doing. You want to be at least level pegging with them, and if they're both winning, we want to be winning as well. So it's a huge goal just at the right time.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just going to go through some of the comments. Natasha Miko coming in to say another header, brilliant from Hayes. It was a superb finish at the back post. Bruce FM saying a lot of heart from this Celtic side too, something that's been lacking all season in the men's side, and I think we can all agree with that. And Paul McKenzie just asking if the game is live. The game is live eventually. I mean, there was a bit of a struggle getting the game going. At first, we were thinking that we were going to have to do some commentary off of live text there for a while. But no, fair play to Hibs. They got it back up and running. The sound's not great, but at least we're getting to see the game, which is a good thing. Jerry H, and this is something I picked up on in the first half. Fran very vocal on the touchline, the opposite of Kennedy. Now you can. The fact that we've got the game, there's no commentary, you can hear the shouts coming down from the touchline. And as you were saying before the game, Russell, the thing about Fran is he sounds as if he's really gelling together that team. It's always encouragement coming from the touchline. It's encouragement when you listen to his interviews, and everything was just good work, keep going. And you can see that eventually paid off towards the end. And this run, it all comes down to the fact that we're a very well organised side, but the morale within the squad is sky high.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. And not for the first time, even when he's been on BBC Alaba, I have heard Fran Alonso over the commentators, his favourite phrase is, get ready! But I mean, I think there's an enthusiasm, and I think you're absolutely right. There was a shot that we took, I think it was actually Caitlin Hayes, funnily enough, who for me has been the player of the match so far by a long distance. And she sort of dragged the shot that was probably too far out to really attempt it. Now, you look at Lenny Ball and he's going irate if one of his players is doing that. Kennedy sits and says nothing. Fran Alonso applauds. Great effort. More of the same. That you could hear him audibly saying this. And I just think, he's encouraging the players to believe that they can do things. He's encouraging players to take responsibility, to take a wee bit of onus, which I think in these type of matches is so important. And I don't like comparing it too often to the men's game anyway, to be honest with you. I think, we have to give this its credit in its own right. And I just think it's good that when a team's under pressure like Celtic are right now to achieve something that many maybe felt, I don't know, Lawrence, would it be fair to say it was being slightly punching above their weight, finishing second or first this year? It's great to see players taking the responsibility and having the fortitude to go and the strength of their own convictions to have, whether it's a pop for long range or whether it's Mariah Lee dancing around three players, okay, the shot didn't quite come off, or whether it's yet again another outstanding set piece delivery, which again takes mettle in these occasions. I just think there's a real attitude to the side that is to be marvelled at. Do you know what I mean?
You look at the big summer signing. Jacinta, she's been missing most of the season.
What's her surname again?
Yeah, sorry, Lawrence, what is her surname?
Oh, you mean Jacinta Prema di Nieva Galada Darici? Is that what you mean, mate?
That's the one, mate.
Mate, it's a proper footballer's name, isn't it?
Oh, it is.
But and Sarah T being out all season, and obviously now we're getting married. Well, Sarah got what 3 games this season? You're out through injury, so big players missing for the Celtic team. But it's a squad game, and they're really showing the depth of squad and the fight they've got. Lisa Robertson in midfield, really experienced campaigner.
Yeah.
She just runs that midfield for us.
Yeah, we spoke about the changes to the side before the start of the game, and the one that we were kind of asking the questions about was Rachel Johnson coming in goal, and she has been pretty active, coming out and punching clear from corners. She's looked very calming in that goal. Lawrence, you mentioned it before the game. She seems as though she's showing experience above her young years, and the defence in front of her, they're comfortable playing in that, with her playing behind them, and you can see there's a lot of trust there.
She was in about 5 or 6 games ago, and I was surprised to see her dropped. I think it was for the Rangers game she got dropped. But, after the mistake in the last game, she's back in. Let's hope she keeps a clean sheet again. If she does, everything's still on track. We live Love Street 86 on the 6th of June when Rangers do us a favour and we win the league in the last day.
Now, looking at...
How good does that sound, eh?
Oh.
I mean, I think Kevin and Tony always go on about the romantic side of Celtic. That would really top it off, wouldn't it, if you had something like that one on the last day? A kind of an opposite effect of the helicopter is turning direction sort of thing.
I think as well. I think they've got all the hallmarks of a side that can be champions. To be honest with you, whether there's no pressure on them this year. If they achieve it, amazing. If as long as they finish in the top 2 now, they're going to put pressure on themselves for that. Winning it would be an absolute bonus. But what we've found now is, and perhaps it's took the first half of the season just because of all the
Hearts have equalised. Sorry. Hearts have equalised, mate.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. One each,
Here we go.
One each. Oh, it's all happening.
So what minute are they into that game just now?
I'll try and get it on that. I've got it on Alba, mate.
I thought you said it was...
I believe that game kicked off at 7 o'clock, did it not?
I think so, mate. Yeah, they're ahead of us.
We'll have to get a minute on how long is left in that game. But as it stands, then Glasgow City would be on 48, Celtic would be on 47.
That was 2 minutes into the second half, mate. 47.
So
still a long way to go.
Early days in the second half, but as it stands, Glasgow City on 48 points, Celtic as it stands on 47. With 2 games to go, the title race could be back on, definitely. And Lawrence, I think you gave everybody a fright there, but we'll take that. As long as you do that for the next one, keep it going. We love that passion there.
I think for me in the second half as well, like we've touched on about perhaps wearing Hibs down and things, I think it's Atkinson who's on the right wing, isn't it?
Yeah, so looking at the lineup, we've got Johnson in goal. Craig is playing at right back alongside Bartle, Hayes in the centre-half positions. You've got Warrington playing left-back in the middle, Nicholson alongside Robertson, and then you've got 3 behind Sarah Ewens, which is Atkinson in there alongside Lee and Philby. And I think that 3 have really been interchanging over the first half from what I've seen. Lee's kind of been out on the left-hand side, but she's cut into the middle. I've seen Atkinson also cutting into the middle, and it's really making Hibs second guess who's going to be there. And as you said, I think 20-odd minutes in, Mariah Lee cutting in from the left-hand side, getting onto her right foot, just not getting that shot away. But it does show that we've got that attacking prowess when we get the ball forward.
I couldn't agree more with you, and I'm really intrigued to see how Atkinson does in the second half. I think it'd be nice to see her with the ball at her feet more. I think she's done a lot of the first 20-25 minutes. There was a lot of tracking runners and things like that. But once she actually got the ball at her feet on a couple of occasions, you've seen the pace she was driving at. There was a crazy foul, which ended up in a booking for the Hibs midfielder. But you could see that once that fatigue that I was speaking about before the game, which I think will. Not unfairly to Hibs, it's just, the nature of the fixtures they've had. But I think once that fatigue creeps in, I think Atkinson could really, really stretch them. And I think it could be, she could have a very important second half for us right now. But we're firmly in the driving seat. I'm feeling confident.
Speaking about that yellow card, that happened on the 39th minute, and it was a tackle coming in from behind. I didn't actually pick up the Hibs player that got booked, but that was quite a dangerous tackle, Lawrence, wasn't it?
There was a couple after that could have been yellows as well. I mean, I think the refs tend to be a wee bit more lenient on the tackles from behind. It just this, dangerous tackles. Sometimes here it seems to just be yellows in the ladies' game. But it's a sign of tiring, isn't it? There was 2 or 3 tackles kind of towards the end of the second half that you're thinking could be a yellow there, and it is a sign of tiring. Whether it's Celtic's fitness or the fact that France got them using the ball really well, you can see them playing the triangles, making the ball do the work. Hibs are trying to press. That's got to tire them out chasing that ball, isn't it?
We did say before the game, this is the 3rd game that they've had against, I think they played Glasgow first, then Rangers, and now us. And as you said, it was good that for us that we got to play them last, because that's 2 games that's really tired them, and you're starting to see that even towards the end of that first half.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you. And I think as well, when we're talking about those sort of challenges, I just think it's so refreshing how often, the girls just seem to, get up, dust themselves off, get on with it. I actually happen to think it's quite refreshing as well to see the sort of meatiness of the tackles that is sorely lacking in the men's game these days. You're booked for cutting someone's heel. Do you know what I mean? Whereas, there's real commitment in the challenge that we've seen so far, and more of the same second half. And I think there will be more yellow cards to come for the Hibs team as they tire.
McGinny73 coming in asking, where can we watch this game? So the game is live on Hibernian Women's Facebook page. Do tune in. I think there was roughly about 300 watching it in the first half. So get involved. We will be back at full time for hopefully what is another Celtic victory. 1-0 at half time to Celtic against Hibs. Join us at full time for the post-match analysis. Until then, hail, hail.